Are you sitting at home wanting a fulfilling career, but you don't know where to begin? The Accounting and Business School of the Rockies can get you from the classroom to the workplace very quickly.
Their certificate programs give you usable knowledge that you can put right to work. Now, Tim Oswald is here to explain how this incredible program works. Hi, Tim.
Hi.
Good
Thanks
to
for
see you.
having me.
Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, for those who are watching right now who don't know much about your school, why don't you give us some background? Explain to us.
Well, we're an occupational school, or vocational, licensed by the state of Colorado. We've been around 11 years. What we do is we teach a certificate program in accounting and bookkeeping, which also includes computer classes and QuickBooks classes.
Okay.
The full certificate program takes about 4 to 5 months to complete. And I say 4 to 5 months because we have a rolling schedule where, depending on how the students schedule their classes, they can finish sometimes in 3, sometimes 5 months.
Oh, wow.
So it depends how they schedule their classes.
Quickly.
You know, there's a lot of people out there that tout themselves as business schools, transform your career and everything else. What makes you guys unique?
Well, a few things. We're small. Our classes are 10 to 12 people.
Okay.
So students that come to our school, normally they haven't been in school for a while. So we want to make the transition as easy as possible. So the 10 to 12 students gives more interaction with the instructors.
Good.
Also, like I said, it only takes about 4 to 5 months to complete. So they're not spending 2 to 4 years in the school. They're coming, getting their education, then going out and getting a job, most likely.
Wonderful.
Also, our classes are hands-on, so it's almost like on-the-job training.
Perfect.
They're doing the accounting they're going to be doing in the workplace. They're sitting at a computer using Excel or using QuickBooks. They're not watching a screen. They're actually, each student's on a computer.
That's important.
Yeah, it truly is. There's so many advantages that you just mentioned. So who would you say is a good candidate as a student for your school?
We have students from many different backgrounds, but generally it's somebody who's looking for a better career path. So if they've been laid off or they're in a job where they don't have a career path, that's generally a student that'll come to our school. Also, we get a lot of stay-at-home moms. So somebody who's been out of the workforce wants to update their skills, they'll come to our school. Or they'll start their own bookkeeping service.
Okay.
Every small business needs a bookkeeper, and so we can train somebody to do that on the side, part-time, sort of on their own schedule. So it's a good alternative for a stay-at-home mom or somebody who has kids in school.
That's fantastic. It sounds like you got something that could definitely fit around people's very busy lifestyle. And it sounds as if your students get real-life experience through your classes. Why don't you talk about the programs that are offered?
Okay. Well, we have, in the main certificate program, we have 2 accounting classes, the accounting bookkeeping class and the accounting technician. Those are in a classroom setting. So you're actually doing debits and credits and T accounts, longhand. And then we have 4 Microsoft classes. Again, you're sitting at a computer, learning how to use the computer. You're not sharing a computer, you have your own. Then we have a QuickBooks class, again, level 1, where they're using the software. And then we also have an additional QuickBooks class if somebody wants to get into some of the more detailed concepts. And we call that the Professional Bookkeeper Plus program.
Oh, wow. Very good. All right, now for our viewers who don't have that accounting job yet and don't maybe have that extra money to pay for tuition, do you have some help for them? How do you help them out?
Yeah, that's a challenge for many of our students. And because they don't have that job yet. So
Right.
there's, if you've been laid off or underemployed, there's programs through the workforce centers. You've had some of them on your show, Arapahoe Douglas Works, Jefferson County, Broomfield, Boulder, where you can go in and if you qualify, they will actually pay for your schooling.
Wow. Very
So
cool.
it's a phenomenal program. If the students don't qualify for that, we have a more traditional student loan where they can defer payments for up to a year. So they don't have to start paying on the loan for a year. Many times they'll finish school, already have a job before they have to make their first loan payment. If they don't qualify for that, then we have 5 other loan options. We won't let finances stand in the way. If somebody wants to come in and improve their lives,
We're there to help them.
Yeah, we're gonna have some program work for them.
That's exciting, and I'm sure that's caught a lot of viewers' attention. Now, what about class schedules? It sounds like they're flexible, and when is there a date? Is there a target date that we should be registered by?
Well, our schedule's unique. We have day, evening, and weekend classes because, again, most of our students are busy. For whatever reason, they may not be able to come. So we have 3 different options, and we have what we call a rolling schedule. So if somebody comes in this week, we'll have a class that they can start in the program within 2 weeks. So whether it's a day, evening, or weekend class. The only date that's really a deadline is we offer a tax class once a year, and that's coming up September 25th. Okay. So we focus more on the business returns in that class. We do personal returns, but it's more business returns. Okay. But really, if somebody comes in, they're going to be able to start the program within a couple weeks.
Fantastic. Give us an example of somebody. There might be somebody sitting at home going, I never thought about accounting and bookkeeping. One, why it can be such a fulfilling career, and two, maybe give us an example of a student who has benefit.
Okay. We've had many students come in that are, success stories, so to speak. But somebody who's been in a minimum wage job, or somebody working retail, or just wants a different career path, or somebody that's been in physical labor their whole life, and they're getting up in years and they want a more office environment. So it's really anybody that wants to learn, anybody that has the desire to learn and change their life.
Good.
But success stories, we have people that say, I wouldn't be where I am today without your school. I mean, to me, that says everything.
That's the best right there, word of mouth, success.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah. Okay, we're going to wrap up here, so we have about 30 seconds.
Okay.
Just summarize. How would you summarize your school?
We change people's lives through education. Whether it's they want to get a job, get a promotion, start their own bookkeeping business, we help them do that. And not only in the classroom, but we'll help them any way we can. Resume review, career counseling. We have great relationships with staffing agencies that know the type of education we provide. 90% of our graduates last year found jobs.
Wow.
So
that's something to brag about.
There you go.
We're small. We can give that individual attention.
That's great.
Good for you. Thanks for the good work you're doing.
Thank you.
Appreciate that. All right, get from the classroom to the workplace quickly with a certificate from the Accounting and Business School of the Rockies. They have two convenient locations, one at I-25 in Bellevue, the other at Highway 36, the Boulder Turnpike in Sheridan. Call now. The first 50 callers. The first 50 callers get 10% off the certificate program when paid in full. The number is 303-755-6885. That's 303-755-6885. Or you can go online to usefultraining.com. The Accounting and Business School of the Rockies paid for this segment.